Hello and welcome to another Visual Basic tutorial. In this tutorial I will be showing you how to create a custom UI for your Visual Basic applications. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a folder called just custom UI. You can stick it anywhere, you can stick it in your pictures folder, wherever you want on your desktop, and in that create a graphics folder. And in here you want 4 graphics. You want a close graphic, a maximize graphic, a minimize graphic, and a title bar graphic. Now these close, maximize, and minimize have to be 16 by 16. Well, they have to be 16 by 16. They can be whatever big you want, but for most UIs, I would recommend if you're just going with like a standard size UI, then they be 16 by 16 each. These are just quickly made in Photoshop, so they're not the brilliant. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. The title bar, I always make mine title bars like 26 in height. This can be the width for this. What I would say is in Photoshop or any of your photo editing applications, create a height whatever you want, but create a width of 100. Do like a gradient or color, whatever, and then take the image down to 1 by your whatever height you want. So in that way, when you tile it, it can just tile it perfectly each time. So yeah, 4 graphics like that, which is what I've done. There's a little gradient. You can see there's a little gradient title bar I just created there for a project I'm working on elsewhere. So just create a new project. I'm gonna call it. Oh, yeah, we don't want a web application. You want a where is it? Windows. So you want a Windows form application. I'm just going to call it custom UI. Okay, give it a little while to just load, create it, and all that. Okay. Okay, everything seems to be loaded now. So first thing before you do anything, you're obviously going to want to import your resources. So go to Project, and then Properties, and then you go down to Resources. Up here you want to change this to Images, and then simply just go to your folder, highlight all of these graphics, just drag them in there like that. If you get any of your graphics that have like spaces or whatever in, and it has like a little circle with a white exclamation mark or a little I think it is, don't worry about that, they all still work fine. I'm just gonna save that. So now we've imported our resources. You can't see these because these are white, but trust me, they're there. You can make yours whatever color you want. I'm just gonna create any sort of form size you want. So say this is your application window here. You just change this, so you change the text of the actual form itself to I always save after everything I do, just in case. Obviously, just like you're making a normal project there. So custom UI is what I want. Start position, center screen, whatever you want. Now this is obviously assuming you've created projects before. If this is your first project, then I wouldn't recommend starting as this tutorial, but you can if you want. But then what you want to do is you're going to want to change the form border style. Also, you can change your icon as well before that, but do form border style. It should be sizable. You want to change it to none, and as you can see, it gets rid of everything, the standard Windows board and everything. So you literally just have the form here. I'm just going to change the color of it so it'll be easier to see amongst other applications. Change it to just a blue color. Because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add a panel, and then you'll come over to the properties and you want to change the dock to top, and then from here you can adjust the size. So like anything you can make it as big as you want, but I recommend anything from like maybe 20 to 30 pixels in height will do just fine. This is 28. I'm going to change mine to 26 so my graphics fit fine. Okay, so that's now 26. What I recommend doing as well is just renaming the panel to title bar. If you don't know what title bar is, it's this little bit up here where you have all the text of the form name and the control box, which is what these are up here. Okay, it just makes it easier for when you come to coding it. It just makes it easier so you know exactly straight away what you're coding. You don't need to go, say if you left it as panel 1, or if you had like loads of panels, you could be like, say, panel 100. When you come to coding it, you won't know what panel 100 is, and you have to go through and search through all the panels to find it. So it's just a lot easier and a lot more professional as well. So back color, and just we'll leave that. Background image is the one you want. You don't want normal image. You can't do that on the panel. But if you do you don't do a picture box for the title bar. Sometimes you might have an image there. You want background image, because in that way you can change the tile and all that of it. So the background image, click the little button to select it, and because we imported it earlier, we don't have to do it now. So here are all our resources. It's a title bar, which is what we want, and I want it to tile just like that, and as you can see, it's now tiling it perfectly. And one little trick as well, what you can do if you wanted to, you can change the border style just to give the picture box a little border, if you wanted to, of course. So now what we're going to want to do is you want to add 3 picture boxes. Now if you don't want to have 3 controls in there, you can have as many or as little as you want. It's just follow the same process for all of them. This one is going to be the close box, so I'll just do this as close button. The professional way of coding as well is the first word always starts with a lowercase. Everything else has to be capital for its first letter. It's just the way they are. It's just easier, really. The size, make that the size of your graphic. I always tend to edit the sizes using the property rather than the dragging and the dropping. Sorry if I'm going a bit too fast for you, but like I said earlier, this is assuming you've created a project before and you know your way around Visual Basic. So what I want to do now is I'm going to, because the graphic, you need to make sure the graphic, if you've got like one like mine, where the graphic is like an X, for example, and it has like background, it has no background behind it, you want to make that transparent so you don't get like a white background in Visual Basic. So to do that, you do the same thing with the picture box. Is this a picture box? Yeah, it is. Just double checking. So you want the back color. If you go to a web and then transparent, as you can see, it makes it transparent. And then from there, you can change. I am going to. You can do image for this one, or you can do background image. I always like doing background image, just because like I said earlier, you can change the tile and the center and all that. Even though if you've made it the same size as the graphic, you don't need to. So this is going to be the close graphic. Okay. I always just like to do stretch just in case, just to make sure nothing happens when we publish it. Now, if you click on it here, you may have trouble getting it in the center. So what you can do, if you click on it and you come up to format, you can go center in form. Then you can, if you do horizontally, obviously you make it horizontal, but we don't want an X button there. You may want it, but I'm not sure why you'd want to. If you do vertical, it now makes it centered perfectly in vertically, so basically up and down. And then what you can do is you can simply just add it over to the corner, and you can just do the vertical again like that. And you see it's now perfectly in the corner. So once you've done one, you can simply just copy and paste the rest in there again, just move it next to it. All you have to do is change the name of it from picture box 1 to, this is going to be the maximize button. Oh, there we go. Background image, that's going to be maximize. I'm just going to make that a little bit closer together like that. And then copy and paste one final time, and because this is a panel now, we can move this to wherever we want and it's still going to have the picture boxes inside. That's why I say use a panel for the title bar, because it's essentially like grouping in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. It just keeps it all together. Now this is a bit hard to get lined up. Okay, there we are. This one is going to be the minimize button. Again, just change the graphic of it to minimize one. Like that. I'm going to move that a little bit closer together. You don't want to make it too crowded, but you don't want to make it too far apart. Again, you want to keep it professional. So as you see here, I now have my custom control box up here. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to add, now you can leave it, you don't have to add any more controls if you wanted to. You could skip to the coding, but I would say to add another label so that you could type in what this is going to be, what this form is. So like we did with the picture box, make the back color transparent, obviously, so you don't get the little blue or whatever color you have behind it. The font, again, make whatever color you want, so that it's the 4 color. I'm just going to make mine white so you can see it better. I like to keep a theme with my UI, don't just put random colors, keep it as a theme. Again, treat all your Visual Basic applications professionally and they will turn out really well. Even if it's just for you, I still treat them professionally. Text, this is just going to be called custom UI. So like, basically this label here is going to be the text of the form if you want, like when we did here. It could be the same as this. And then click on that, go to format, center in form, and this one you want horizontally and vertically. And now it's perfectly in the middle. You can change the font, do whatever. I'm not going to. If you want, you could put a little icon here. I would say put it over here, just like you have up here. If you wanted to, just to make it a little bit more professional. And I keep saying that word, but yeah. Anyway, okay. So now once you've done that, so you've added your picture boxes, your panel, your title bar, and your label. I'm just going to quickly rename this label to form text. Again, just keep it suitable. You can choose, you can name them whatever you want, but just keep it suitable. So now let's get into the coding side of things. What you want to do is we're going to code. First of all, we're going to code the title bar. So I will put a link to this code in the description so you can download it. I'm just going to quickly open up a little code for it. I always save like useful code in a text file just because it makes it so much easier when I'm not only recording, but when I'm writing Visual Basic applications. I don't have to write out the code. I can just copy and paste it. So where is it? Aha, Visual Basic codes. Here we are. I have a lot of codes in here. And here we are. First thing you're going to want to do is you are going to go to the events icon here, which is the little lightning strike, obviously on the title bar. So you click on the title bar, then go to here, and you want to go to the mouse down and double click. Then up here, just before the very first private sub, but underneath the public class and then the form name, just copy and paste these bits from the code. So it's dim new point as system.drawing.point. It's basically just saying we've just created a coordinate, basically a new point, and then dim x and y is integer, so we just create 2 new numbers which are x and y. Now at the moment I don't have any value because we haven't specified that, but that's what this code is going to do. So you will then copy and paste the second section of it. I will read this out in case you wanted to type it. Sorry for the copy and pasting, but it just again saves me writing it out. I might write out the next one though, just so you can see it a bit easier, because it's a little bit more code. Okay, so we want x equals control dot mouse position dot x minus the me dot location dot x. Basically what it's saying is x is going to equal the x axis of the mouse position, in other words the cursor position, and then it's minus, subtract the location, x location of the form, okay, which is this here. That's what the me is. The me is always referred to for the form. It's same thing for the y. Y is going to equal the y position of the cursor, subtract the location, the y location of the form. Okay, that is on the mouse down event. Now you want to go back to title bar, go back down to the events, and it's going to be mouse move. Now for here you may notice we have things like the by val as system.windows.forms.mouse event arguments. This is what you need to just make sure you have this bit. Your private sub looks like this here. Okay, obviously this title bar thing here would be to whatever you named your title bar. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an if statement. So it's going to be if the e, this is where this e comes in here, dot button equals mouse buttons dot left, so this is the left mouse button, then, okay, push enter, it should automatically put in the end if it doesn't, just type it. So it's saying, so if a button that's being held is the left mouse button, we want to make new point, which is what we defined this drawing dot point up here, equals control, that's basically the form, like all the controls on the form, which is what the title bar is a control, so we define the title bar, dot mouse position. Okay, so the new point is now going to be the mouse position over this title bar here. So now we're going to define, we want the new point again. Everything's going to be a new point. New point equals, actually no, hang on. New point, don't do an equal. New point dot x minus equals just means subtract, in brackets x. As you can see up here, this is all linking. If you put it up here, you see it all links together. X is what the x position of the mouse minus the form x location. So we want to subtract that from the new point, and as you see here, the new point is the mouse position. Now we want to do the same thing but for the y. So new point, next point, new point dot y minus equals, which is subtract, and in brackets y. Again, that's the same thing. We're subtracting the control of the mouse position of the control, which is the title bar, minus the form location y section axis thing, and we're subtracting that from the new point dot y. One last thing is me dot location, which is the form dot location, is going to equal the new point. Okay, so basically it's saying it's just, yeah, the location of the form is going to be whatever the new point is, and that should just be all the coding you need. As you can see here, it's for the title bar. There may be a bit more coding than you thought, but to be honest, it's really simple coding. And if you're advanced or intermediate, or maybe already know your way around Visual Basic, it should be quite easy to work out. So I'm just going to debug it. So debug it to make sure it runs fine. What you should be able to do is you can add the same thing for any control. You can do the same thing for mouse down and mouse move for any control. It doesn't have to be title bar. any controller you want to make move the form, you can do it. So as you see here, if we used to do it over the label, it doesn't work. So maybe a thing you may want to add, may not want to add. I'm not going to in this tutorial. But what you want to do is just test it out. So you click and drag, and as you can see, we can now move the form around the screen. We need to stop that now. Now all that's left to do is to code these buttons here. So double click. What you want to do actually, because this is a picture box, don't just double click straight away, because sometimes it may not put it as the click event default, it may put it as the paint event. So just go to events, then double click on click. Now this form is going to be pretty easy, because this is the only one in the application. It's going to be end, but what you could also do is me.close, and that'll just close the current form. As you see there, closes the form. Now the maximize button, again, click event. This is a little bit more coding, but it's really straightforward. It's going to be so what this maximize button is going to do is when you click it, it's going to, if the form is just at normal size, it will maximize it, but if it's maximized and you click it again, it's going to bring it back down to normal size. So if me dot window state, so if the form window state is equal to form dot form dot window, I can't remember what it is now, window form window state, yeah, that's what it is, form window state dot normal, then me dot window state equals form window state dot maximized. Else me dot window state equals form window state dot normal. So I'm just going to go over this code quickly. If the window state is normal, which basically means how it is here, then it's going to maximize it and pull it the same size as the screen. It does go over the taskbar, but that's a different tutorial, so I may do that, I'm not sure. But yeah, it'll maximize it. If it's anything that isn't normal, so minimized, maximized, but you can't really push it if it's minimized, so we don't need to worry about that. So if it is maximized, then it's going to set it back to normal, which is what this is again here. And that's pretty that's quite simple coding. That's all it is for the maximize button. Last thing, minimize button, click event. All it is going to be me dot window state equals form window state dot minimized, and that's it. So basically that's just saying make the window state minimized, which is the same as minimizing the form. Pretty simple tutorial. Thank you for watching. Quickly going to test it out so we can move it about on the screen. We can minimize it. I'll just go ahead and pull that back up. We can maximize it. Oh yeah, one thing we've just forgot to do, the X button works, as you can see, is these controls on the right hand side. What you're going to want to do is you want to set the anchor point to top right, so when you maximize it, it will just go to, it will stay in this, it will go to the furthest right side of the form. Like, it's hard to explain. So when we maximize it, it will go over to the right with so it'll be in the same position but just maximized like that, and you can't really see it that well because the screen recorder doesn't record all of the screen, or I haven't set it to. Now for the label, all you want to do is it's going to be the anchor is going to be top, left and right. Debug that, test it out. So maximize it. Okay, it doesn't seem to be staying. It seems to be staying in the same position. I quickly just fix this. I always have problems with anchor points. They don't always quite work out how I want them to. If we try all of it, Probably something really simple which I've forgotten to do like all the time. I think it may just be top right actually. It might not even be top, I think it may just be left or right. No. Sorry about this, guys. Top right. No, that hasn't done anything. That's just completely. The anchor to that, to make it keep it in the center, it should just be. What about if we just take? We'll just keep the anchor as top and bottom. Yes, the anchor for that should keep it in the center. Should just be top and bottom for the label. The anchor is just top and bottom, no left and right. It's just top and bottom. So thank you for watching this tutorial on creating a custom UI in Visual Basic. It may have been a long one for you, but again, I went through it. I explained everything, so that's why it was a bit longer than just someone just sitting there dragging it all in, just not explaining it at all. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for some more tech videos.